My name is Pamela Hawley. My presentation today is going to be about three topics: conflict in relationships, critical thinking, and listening. The reason I chose these three is because I think they go well together and they complement each other. And I think without one, then it's hard to do another one. So, personal experience, I know when you're in school, you have conflicts. Usually, when you're in high school, conflicts consist of conflicts with boyfriends or conflicts with your parents. And when you get older, you delve into way more conflicts. You get into deeper relationships. You might get married, so you'll have, conflicts with your husband. Then you'll have conflicts with extended family, in-laws, and then you'll eventually have conflicts with your children. Um, so I think that from personal experience, conflicts and critical thinking and learning how to be a good listener all plays a good role in how to make a successful life for yourself. So that's the reason that I chose what I did. I thought that really it didn't really matter to be a good listener or how important it is to deal with the conflicts in your relationships and what you would use as far as critical thinking goes to get you through some of those conflicts. So what you think all changes the older you get. So my first topic, conflict in relationships. Like I said earlier, it is difficult. The older you get, the more conflicts you see arise in your life. When you're in high school, you really don't have a lot of conflicts. I mean, you have conflicts and you think they're important then, but they're not really important conflicts. You have conflicts, of course, with boyfriends and girlfriends, and then you have, of course, conflicts with your parents about not being able to do stuff or about how late you can stay out at night. And the older you get, the more conflicts you have as far as conflicts with coworkers, conflicts with, of course, spouses, and then in-laws, and then conflicts with your children. And the reason that I think that's so important is because you have to learn how to assess the conflict and realize what a deal it is and how important it is. And old ways you really didn't put a lot of emphasis or attention on some of the conflicts, and now that you get older you realize what effects those conflicts can have to you later in life and how important it is to resolve them in a timely manner, in a manner that helps suit everybody involved in the situation. My second topic is critical thinking, and for this topic, critical thinking I think is very important that you can use this in helping resolve some of those conflicts. Critical thinking has a lot to do with your success in life, not just flying by the seat of your pants, so to say, but it's more important to think through something and weigh your options and see what will be the best option for you instead of just making a rash decision or the first decision that you go with. And it's important to think through that and think of the best solution to the problems, to the conflicts that you're having, or the best critical thinking that you can use as far as schoolwork, and critical thinking in what to do in other aspects of your life. Some old ways you wouldn't even use really a lot of critical thinking. You would just give it a slight thought and then go with the easiest solution. And now when I look at situations and stuff I need to make decisions on, I weigh all of my options and not just go with the easiest, but go with the best option in the situation. And then the last topic that I'm going to be speaking about is listening, and I think this is good for critical thinking and conflict in relationships, because if you don't listen, then you're not going to make the best decisions in your conflicts, and you're certainly not going to have any critical thinking skills because you're not going to be listening to anybody else's opinion or listening even to yourself in some situations. So I think it's important to have good listening skills. In the past, you don't really think about listening to people, like really listening to people. In fact, for my instance, in my old ways, it was easy for me to tune somebody out, just like an example in our book. I mean, when somebody starts talking that you're not really interested in, or you've already got an opinion about the situation, it's easy just to brush them off, or to, pretend like you're listening and not really listening at all because you haven't heard anything that they've said besides hello when they walked up. So I think listening is very important because you're not always right, even though you think you are. Because somebody can bring a different aspect to the situation that you might not have thought of. And it's important, especially the older we get, to listen to other people, listening to our children when they're talking. For lining factors, something that is hidden in their message is important. It might be trying to tell you something not really saying, but in the long run, if you're really listening, then you'll get what they're really trying to tell you. So in the old ways, you just kind of listen but not really listen. So my new ways, I've really made it a point to pay attention and to listen to somebody else's input and what they really have to say. So I think it's really helped me through this semester, especially the conflict and the critical thinking, because sometimes we don't always use that. Um, so the summary would be to really utilize what the listening does for your critical thinking and your conflict in your relationships, because I think these three really all go together very well, because they help push the other one forward. So it's easy to put them together and then use all three skills and make better decisions in your life and make better decisions in your schooling and just make better decisions to make you a better person. So the key things I think to remember is to use all of your skills in the conflict in relationships, to listen to everybody's point of view and not just to go with your own, because it's not always the best. And the key in that is to be listening to what they have to say. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate you opportunity